Who vandalized Frank Sinatra's grave? Someone allegedly took a hammer to Frank Sinatra's grave just 3 years after his wife Barbara passed away, trying to carve out the word husband. The time has come to talk about the drama and mystery surrounding Frank Sinatra's grave. In 2024, I was very excited to see Frank Sinatra's grave for the first time. I was in Palm Springs, and when I was looking up the address to the cemetery, I stumbled upon this article by David Lansing of Palm Springs Life. This article goes down an insane rabbit hole, and I was shocked to find out that the marker that I was visiting in 2024 was not the same marker that Frank Sinatra had when he was laid to rest in 1998. This is his new marker, and this is his original marker. It reads, "The best is yet to come," but also says beloved husband and father. Notice how the new marker still references him being a father and no longer matches his wife Barbara's? That might not be a coincidence, let me explain. David Lansing had been visiting Frank Sinatra's grave for many years, and when he went to visit in 2021, he noticed that it no longer matched his wife Barbara, who had been laid to rest next to him in 2017. Confused by this, David then contacted the manager of the cemetery, who said, "Look, I don't want to get into what happened." When David then asked if something did happen, the cemetery manager suggested that David contact Frank's daughters Tina or Nancy, or contact the police. That's when David filed a Freedom of Information Act with the Cathedral City Police Department, asking for all reports related to Desert Memorial Park in 2020. When he got them back, 12 incidences had been reported, but 4 of them were redacted. When David asked why some of the incidences were redacted, the sergeant told him that he wasn't at liberty to say anymore, and that there may have been an incident at the cemetery that had no police report filed. He then suggested that David contact the cemetery, which of course he had already done. David then asked his editor at Palm Springs Life to pull public records on when the marker was changed and who approved it, and they were denied. And that's when he decided to reach out to Frank Sinatra's children and grandchildren, but no one wanted to speak to him. But then David received an anonymous note by someone who claimed to know the Sinatra family for 45 years, who wanted to remain anonymous, but said, "Sometime over Thanksgiving last year, someone took a blunt instrument, perhaps a hammer, and intentionally damaged Frank Sinatra's grave. To be specific, they tried to chip out the word husband from the granite marker. The marker had to be replaced. And with the new marker, some of the words were removed. And the word husband. And that now new words had been added, and that is all that they were willing to say." David thought this was the end of the story until he revisited Tina Sinatra's book that she re-released for the 100th anniversary of her father's birth. In this book, she described what she called her father's disastrous relationship with his wife Barbara, and she even shared a story about how after her father died, she slipped a note in his pocket that read, "Sleep warm, Papa, look for me." David then closed the article with a quote from her book that said, "While I miss my father desperately in those months," talking about after he had passed away, "I could hear him say, 'Don't despair, honey, don't despair.' I could also hear him say, 'Don't get mad, get even.' Well, we don't know who. All we know is that someone did." Allegedly.